Simply said, Komen Greater New York City's impact for many area women is nothing short of life-saving. One of their main focuses is helping to ensure underserved and uninsured local women get the testing, treatment, and support they deserve.
If we could eliminate disparities in access to care, we can reduce death rates from breast cancer by 30%. So women who are underserved are the women who we focus on because they are the ones who are most likely not to get the care that they need.
Jessica Winkler was a nursing student. On her 28th birthday, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. The shocking news was heightened by the fact she didn't have insurance to cover her treatment.
I had a really difficult, awful diagnosis. I felt desperate. I was scared. My life was put on hold, and I have to have both of my breasts removed in a matter of 3.5 weeks.
It was a piece of my heart, and I wanted it to be me, and it just was so much pain. But there was gladness because Peconic Hospital, between Coleman's resources that just came upon, it took the pressure off of me as a mom because I didn't know how to deal with this.
One of the services that they offer is through a cancer preventative service program. And one of the nurse navigators, Arlene Allen, she was able to get me medical insurance in a matter of days. In a matter of days. Days before my surgery. She was my guardian angel during that time because that was the only piece that was able to fit everything together. That was what I needed to really move forward in my cancer process.
Jessica finished her nursing degree and today is working as a cardiothoracic nurse and will be able to help others for years to come to recover physically and emotionally. The support she received at Peconic Bay Medical Center would not have been possible without the generosity of those who support Komen Greater New York City.
Those who donate, who provide to Komen's programs, it's very important because there's no face to cancer, there's no age to cancer, and we sometimes think if we have not been sick that we won't be touched by cancer. Every person knows one person who has cancer. It's our mother, it's our father, it's our brother, it's our sister, it's our best friend, it's our cousin, and it's everywhere. It's important, it's vital. If you think about having a family member not have insurance going through treatments, it would be nice to know that there are programs out there that can help alleviate that burden on top of going through a diagnosis. So it's very important, and that if we can help each other out more, then we should.
Now, each and every birthday is a reminder of how much she has to be thankful for.
I feel hopeful. You know, every year I'm excited. Every year on my birthday, I vow to not look at my birthday as something that was a cancer diagnosis. I look at it as possibility. I look at it as, well, what is it that I want to do for myself and for the people that I love and for my patients every single year.
Please welcome our host for today's Impact Awards, CBS 2 News anchor, Christine Johnson.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon, and welcome to the 2016 Impact Awards. So today is a celebratory afternoon. We're going to recognize some very, very good people, some friends that are very close to the Komen Foundation. And we're going to also recognize the organizations making an impact that is felt every single day in the fight against breast cancer. Right now, it is my pleasure to introduce the co-chairs of today's luncheon, Anne Fontaine and Komen Greater New York City board member, Grace Ormond.
Thank Jessica Winkler for sharing her story with us, and Lee Grossman, Todd Ehrlich, Leslie Boone, and our friends at CBS 2 for that amazing video that started off our event today. I'm Grace Ormond, and on behalf of Susan G. Komen, Greater NYC, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Impact Awards. We have a powerful program planned for you. But before we begin, I want to thank our generous sponsors for making today possible. Thank you to our Cure sponsor, Novartis Oncology, our Breakthrough sponsors, Hearst and Sandra Kozlowski and Edward Reiter, our Discovery sponsors, JP Morgan Chase and MasterCard. There's a complete list of all sponsors in your program, including our fantastic silent auction sponsors. I also want to thank my friend and co-chair, Anne Fontaine, for all she's done to make this day as impactful as it is.
Nancy, I want to say thank you to you for all what you do. And I have to tell you something. Before we met, I only do white shorts, and now I do pink. When I opened my first shop 19 years ago, I want to give back to the cause that's important to me and to women. Then I discovered Suzanne Komen family, and I'm very moved by the story for the two sisters. It's a real lesson of love and hope. And I'm very impressed by the work done these last 30 years and the Nancy determination. I'm very proud, you're honored, to be part of this mission that concerns all of us. It's very important to care on and support Suzanne Komen Foundation because I strongly believe that one day we find the way to cure this disease. Nancy, as you know, I already created my foundation, but I take care about the Brazilian forests. But it's my personal commitment. But Suzanne Komen Foundation is a very, very dear to my heart. And my support was a friend, as a woman, is very important to me. And I'm very honored to be your friend, Nancy. You are so beautiful person, and you are superwoman. Nancy, can please stand up? I just say thank you again for your beautiful work for every woman. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all you're doing to win this fight, Nancy. I'd like to give a big thank you to all of our volunteers for helping us out today. They're instrumental in making all of this possible. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the immediate past chair of the Komen Greater NYC Board, Sandra Kozlowski.
Well, thank you so much, Grace. Really appreciate the introduction. And looking at this luncheon, I have to say, I mean, you've all probably heard me speak a few times by now, so I appreciate you allowing me some more of your time today. And for those of you who don't know me, I am looking forward to getting to know you today. But it is always such a privilege to be standing in front of you and to be sharing this moment. It is such a journey, and I've been so privileged to be on a part of it with you. As Grace mentioned, I'm the outgoing chair. I will not be going far, as you all know. You can't really get rid of me. But I have to say that I first got involved with raising funds for breast cancer and raising awareness when I was just 12 years old after I lost my grandmother to breast cancer. I was devastated. And to that end, I decided that this was going to be part of my mission, that no woman should not have treatment or resources to the breast cancer treatment if she could not get access to them. And by a beautiful circumstance and happenstance, I met Nancy Brinker. And after that, it was just all the stars aligned, and I was basically, Komen was my first job, really, and everything else became second. In over 8 years with Komen Greater NYC, I found the Young Professionals Committee. I was the original founder and now the outgoing chair as well to that. There is now new leadership, who is extraordinary leadership, which is John Petzel, who's here today. So thank you very much, John, for taking on the reins of the Young Professionals. In 8 years, we have raised over $1 million. So it shows you and it shows you just by one decision that you make and the one moment that you take in that time to say that I'm going to make that difference can really just have a groundswell. And I learned that from Nancy, and I learned that from all of you. When I've heard stories of surviving, I am inspired by your power, by your commitment, by your energy. I honestly am just so honored to be a part of all of this. And when I joined the board in 2010, I was just amazed at how much more Komen could do on a greater scale. But we could not do that with all the thanks to the board members. I want to thank two of our outgoing board members, Ayla Deutsch, who has been our secretary and treasurer for most of her tenure on the board. She brought an invaluable perspective and innovation to the board meetings, and she'll be missed dearly. Also, many of you know Ivy Campbell-Gobb from her presence at this event and her important role as chair of Grants, Policy, and Education Committee. We are grateful for both of their service. Please stand up so we can give you a round of applause. And now, before I introduce you to Renee Garbus, our new chair, I just want to take one more moment to thank all of you. I want to thank the Komen staff who has really been with me from the start, and I have to say, kind of watched me grow up in a way. Linda Tantuana, Vern Calhoun, you two have an incredible place in my heart. I thank you for believing in the Young Professionals Committee and believing in me. It means so much to me, and you will be with me always. Also want to thank, of course, the Komen board, as I mentioned. Nancy, you are my hero, you know that. And her son Eric Brinker is missed today, but at the same time, he was one of the original founding members of the Young Professionals Committee as well. Last but not least, I want to thank my family and friends, my friends who are with me again from the start, from the Young Professionals Committee, who basically just signed up and knew they wanted to be a part of something. And I have to say that it is amazing to see some of their faces here today and to realize the impact that we are all here creating. Also would have to thank my mother and of course my husband, who has given me, I'd say, the permission and the courage to do what I believe in. And what I believe in right now is this moment and sharing this moment with all of you, because I know there's so much left to do and I know that we can get there together. So now, it is with great pleasure that I introduce you to the new chair of the Komen Greater NYC Board of Directors, Renee Garbus. Renee is completely dedicated to the cause. Shortly after she joined the board, she made a commitment for 1,000 PepsiCo team members to go to the race. This was a huge commitment. The year before, there had been I don't know the number off the top of my head, I'm sorry, Renee, but it had been a large showing, but by no means close to 1,000. For the past 3 years straight, Renee has had 1,000 PepsiCo team members at the race for the cure. I'm not done. I just want to say that I am so excited for the new leadership of the board. Renee is an amazing woman. She shows that one person can make a difference, as all of you can here today. So again, it is my complete pleasure and honor to be here today and introduce Renee.
Thank you, Sandy. You are a true inspiration to me and are leaving behind big heels for me to fill. Your leadership of the board and the YPC shows how much someone can achieve when they are passionate about what they do. You've been a shining example of generosity and resourcefulness, and we are so grateful for everything you've done. I know you won't be leaving us. I'll make sure of it. You will be forever an important part of Susan G. Komen Greater NYC. Passion is something that you and I share. It prompts me to dream big and reach for the stars, while at the same time focuses me on the tasks at hand. I am passionate about our mission to make sure no one dies of breast cancer. And I'm passionate about our results. Thanks to the widespread support of the community partners who are gathered here today, we are making a difference in the lives of tens of thousands of women and families by providing breast health screening, treatment, support services, and community outreach for the people who need it most. And we've been very fortunate to have the leadership and inspiration of our CEO, Linda Tintawi, and the hard work of the fantastic staff of Komen Greater NYC. I hope that as chair, in some small way, I can inspire Linda and the staff to reach for the stars, because that's what it takes to achieve our goals. Thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting everyone.
I hope everyone is enjoying their lunch. Right now, I'd like to welcome the Surgeon-in-Chief at my Maimonides Medical Center in Brooklyn, the founder and director of Maimonides Brooklyn Breast Cancer Center, and Komen Greater NYC board member and medical advisory committee chair, a very busy, very accomplished man, Mr. Dr. Patrick Borgen.
I love the Mr. Doctor thing. I love that. So I want to thank Susan G. Komen of Greater New York, Nancy Brinker, our guests, for inviting me to really do something that I've been excited about since being invited. In giving this award, I kept coming back to the word imagine. Doctors who treat and diagnose breast cancer, like my team from Brooklyn, the Maimonides Breast Center Group, give them a big hand in the corner over here. They spend a lot of time imagining. Imagine if we had one more drug. Imagine if we had one more chance at radiation. Imagine if we had one more operation. We spend a lot of time imagining. Today's award winner in this important category spends its time imagining as well. It's an extreme pleasure to present the first award, the Corporate Impact Award, to Novartis Oncology. Imagine, if you will, a company with a market cap, I just learned, of $200 billion that has a heart, that cares about what patients need, what cares about what doctors need to treat those cancers. For those of you that told us you had breast cancer, if blocking estrogen played a role, can you raise your hand? Yeah, a lot of you. One of our most potent tools is blocking estrogen with breast cancer. Imagine if we had a drug that would wake up those receptors if they went to sleep and allow us to continue to successfully block estrogen. Imagine that. Novartis imagined it, and it did it. How many of you had HER2 as part of your breast cancer treatment? A few. Imagine a different way to tackle HER2. Imagine an oral treatment that would tackle HER2. Our treatments take a toll on bones. Imagine if we had a drug that would protect bones from both breast cancer and breast cancer treatment. Novartis imagined it, and they created it. It's important to note that collaborations with research organizations and advocacy groups such as Susan G. Komen and the Metastatic Breast Cancer Network broaden the scope of Novartis' research capabilities and enable the company to better understand what you as patients need. Working together helps Novartis ensure that patients have the information and the resources they need to better manage their disease. And as an aside, and as someone who's been in the field of both research and treatment for 2 decades, 16 years ago, Novartis made a decision to put trial results early online to give you as patients access to that data. That was groundbreaking 16 years ago and still is a landmark decision they made. Novartis has collaborated with organizations to create the Count on Us, Know Us, and Join Us program, which recognizes patients living with metastatic breast cancer. It supports their friends, their caregivers, and their family members. Advanced breast cancer has very different physical and emotional needs from those who have earlier stage breast cancer, and through this program, Novartis helps to bring much needed awareness, attention, and resources to this community. So, Novartis Oncology, with more than 10,000 associates in 85 countries, is a $200 billion company that is inspired by patients to revolutionize their research, to accelerate their development and manufacturing of innovative, high-quality, urgently needed medicines that help people live longer with a better quality of life, giving them more time to do the things that we all love to do. So I'm extremely proud, on behalf of Susan G. Komen of Greater New York, to present the Corporate Impact Award to Novartis Oncology. Please welcome Mahesh Riccardi, Vice President and U.S. Oncology Franchise, Head of Breast and Renal Cancers at Novartis.
Kind words and for this meaningful award. Good afternoon, everyone. I am extremely honored not only to be here and receive the award on behalf of Novartis Oncology, but also to be a part of this celebration of life in the lives of metastatic breast cancer patients. We are so grateful to the Susan G. Komen New York chapter for recognizing Novartis Oncology with this award for our commitment to furthering research in breast cancer and impacting patients. You know, at Novartis, patients are at the center of everything that we do. They inspire us, they motivate us to invest and come up with drugs and technologies, high quality medicines, to help patients live longer, live lives with better quality, and to support their needs. We can't do this alone. That's why collaborating with organizations like Susan G. Komen is extremely important for us, so that we can actually help the patients. You know, as Dr. Borgen mentioned, we have a long history of working to develop advancements for people living with this condition, and are committed to continuing to do that work. While these advances are encouraging, and we have a very good pipeline of drugs like other companies, you know, that is pushing the envelope on treating breast cancer, there's a lot to be done. This disease needs to be conquered. I would like to talk about one patient that inspired me very recently. The patients that we talked about today were extremely inspiring, but this patient I actually met live. She came to Novartis to talk about her story. You know, the zest for life. She was diagnosed with advanced breast cancer at the age of 34 when she had been engaged to get married. She went ahead, when she got married, she is living with breast cancer, fighting it every day. And she's an inspiration to a lot of other women. She's taken charge of her disease, her condition. And she's helping other women who are in similar situation navigate the treatment paradigms, navigate through everything that comes with it, and really give it her best So she's working for others. When I was about to introduce her, I asked her, how should I introduce you? Should I introduce you as, a person who's living with breast cancer, a survivor? And she said, no, Mahesh, please call me a breast cancer thriver. That really stuck with me, because that's what she is. She's thriving. She is an amazing 34-year-old woman who's really thriving and giving life with her best. So to all of those this afternoon in the audience who are thrivers, currently battling breast cancer, or those who have loved ones who are actually battling breast cancer, know that Novartis is here as a partner to help you bring better treatment and better quality of life. Once again, I would really like to thank Susan G. Komen, New York City, for this amazing award that truly humbles me to be here to accept the award. Thank you very much.
Please give a warm welcome to Komen Greater NYC CEO, Linda Tantawi.
A beautiful day indeed, and why we truly are here to help ensure that women, wherever they are on the breast cancer continuum, have more beautiful days. We are on a mission. No one should die from breast cancer. This is a lofty goal, but we are Susan G. Komen, the boldest breast cancer community. This is what my friend Nancy Brinker expects of me, expects from us, and what she promised her sister Susie. And we are making progress. Progress on new treatments. Progress on eliminating breast cancer as a life-threatening disease. But while 40,000 women every year are still dying from breast cancer, we know we have so much more to do. Locally, we are making progress on ensuring access to breast health services for all of our women. I hope you had a chance to speak with some of our community partners who are here today. 24 stellar organizations working to eliminate disparities in access to breast cancer care, helping to ensure women have a better chance of surviving. Our grants program was made possible through your generosity. I would like to highlight the important work of one of our community partners, the Charles B. Wang Community Health Center. The Charles B. Wang Community Health Center is one of our longest tenured partners, saving lives with us since 1995. Established in 1971, they are a nonprofit, federally qualified health center with locations in Manhattan and Chinatown and in Flushing. Charles B. Wang ensures that all members of their community, regardless of their ability to pay, are provided with comprehensive and culturally effective primary health care. Our grants program is funding, and we are honoring today their Project BEST, Breast Education and Screening Together, which provides monthly support groups for Chinese American women who have been diagnosed with or are survivors of breast cancer. This program allows women and their families to access ongoing emotional support in the language in which they are most comfortable, and from an organization the community trusts. For their efforts on behalf of their community and in support of women with breast cancer, Komen Greater NYC is proud to present the Community Innovation and Impact Award to the Charles B. Wang Community Health Center. And please welcome Jane Ang, CEO of the Charles B. Wang Community Health Center.
Are supposed to do, oh yeah.
Thank you, Linda. On behalf of the Charles B. Wang Community Health Center, I'm very pleased to accept this award on behalf of our community. The Charles B. Wang Community Health Center was founded in 1971, and for the past 45 years, we've been providing primary care services to the Asian American community in the greater New York metropolitan area. We provide services in primary care, including women's health, adult medicine, pediatrics, dental, mental health services, and we also provide health education and social services. programs for the community. Through the funding from Susan G. Komen, Greater New York, we've been able to enhance our health education and community service programs for breast cancer patients and the community. We've had this funding for about 20 years, and it's really enabled us to reach out to the community. We go to workshops, we provide radio programs, and we coordinate with all of our screening programs. And in the last 4 years, we set up the breast cancer support group. And through this program, we're able to provide services in Cantonese and Mandarin to breast cancer patients, survivors of cancer. And through this, we incorporate activities and educational sessions into the support groups. Most importantly, our focus is on providing holistic psychosocial support services through small group discussions to help group members move past feelings of fear and helplessness to an improved quality of life and survivorship. When women share their stories with us about the impact of the group, they often describe their experience as empowering, comforting, hopeful, and supportive. And I also want to introduce to you at this time Mana Chan, who is the director of our social services program, and she is the one who organized and runs the support group for the Cantonese and Mandarin speaking patients of the Charles B. Wang Community Health Center. And the Charles B. Wang Community Health Center and the Asian American community, thank you all for supporting the good work of Susan G. Komen, Greater New York.
Right now, I'd like to welcome to the stage Vice Chairman and former CEO of Hearst, Frank Bennett Jr.
I can't tell you how much an honor it is to be here once again. This has become a very special event for me, and I'm delighted to be back this year. Last year, I had the honor of presenting Komen Greater New York City's first Founders Award to John McCarty. John was an enormous presence at Hearst, but he was not just my colleague, he was also my dear friend. The award, of course, was presented posthumously, but then and now, his wife Charlotte and his son John and other members of his family are here, and I'd like to acknowledge them if you would. I can tell you that in my work life, seldom does a day go by that I don't think of what an incredible man he was. The folks here tell me that without John's effort and support, there would be no Komen Greater NYC activity. And I'm so proud to say that I not only knew the man, but knew what he stood for and how much he believed in what all of you stand for. Each and every one of you, and how pleased we are at Hearst to carry on his tradition of support. Words can't describe how touched I was when I heard that you decided to rename the award the John McCarter Founders Award. It would make John very happy to know that his name will be associated year after year with like-minded souls, men and women who have dedicated themselves to eliminating breast cancer as a life-threatening disease. And it is in that spirit that we recognize one of the great breast cancer warriors of today. In 1991, Shirley Mertz was a woman with 2 young sons, a good job in the field of education, and a diagnosis of early-stage breast cancer. She went through treatment, and as far as she knew, and her doctors knew, she was cured. Life went on. Shirley became a high school principal, her young sons became young men, and then in 2003, she received the worst news possible. The breast cancer was back, It has spread to other parts of her body. You all know what that means. Metastatic cancer, stage 4, the one for which there is no cure. In the years that followed, Shirley gave some incredible advice to women who also had that diagnosis. Allow yourself to cry, said she. Then put on your steel armor and take charge of your care. Well, not only did Shirley do just that, she also helped thousands of others along the way ever since. In 2005, she attended the National Metastatic Breast Cancer Conference. Suddenly, she was surrounded by hundreds of other women just like her. The experience changed her life, and she began to change other women's lives as well. She joined the Metastatic Breast Cancer Network and rose in the organization until she was named its president in 2012. Thanks to Shirley and her organization, Congress has declared October 13th National Metastatic Breast Cancer Day. Think about that. Think about how important that designation is. The 5-year survival rate for metastatic disease is only 24%. And yet it's the one form of breast cancer that many people still don't know how to react to, don't know how to talk about it. Shirley's changing that. She knows we can and must do better. Shirley has been named a White House Champion of Change for her work. She is a leader who tirelessly urges researchers to focus on metastatic cancer, to not give up, to find the cause, to find better treatment. This is a woman who fought with her doctors when she had to, and wore her steel armor as she promised to do, and flashed her brilliant humor and thrived 13 years strong and counting. It is with intense pride that I present the John Mack Carter Founders Award, sponsored by hers, on behalf of Susan B. Komen, Greater NYC, to Shirley Birch.
Oh boy. Oh, this is amazing. Never did I ever think I would be standing in front of such an esteemed group or be at this point in my life. I want to thank first and foremost the John Mack Carter family and Mrs. Carter. What your husband did in order to remember his friend Benita Fury, who died of metastatic breast cancer, and which enabled Komen to have this wonderful New York affiliate of New York City, is amazing. I wish I would have known him, but his memory certainly will live on, and I'm just overwhelmed that I would be considered to follow in this awards footsteps. So I thank you all, family, for your fine leader and loved one. Thank you so much. As was just stated, I first also want to thank Linda Tanwani and the Komen New York City Board for this honor. It has truly touched me. As has been stated, in 1991 I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. And in fact, the surgeon did tell me, after I chose to have a double mastectomy, Shirley, go on with the rest of your life, you're cured. And I have to tell you that my husband made a little sign that said those very words, and he hung it up in our bathroom so that we both could see it when we were getting dressed in the morning. And so although I diligently followed up on my situation with my doctors, as you heard, in 2003, I received a metastatic breast cancer diagnosis. And because I was being treated as if my breast cancer was the same as my early stage disease, my breast cancer spread throughout my skeleton and into my liver. I was in really a bad place. And then I met a wonderful Komen scholar, Dr. Fumi Olopati, who believed in biopsies. And Dr. Olopati did a biopsy, ordered a biopsy, and it was discovered that my metastatic disease was different in its makeup from early stage disease. And that made all the difference, because I was given a treatment that was appropriate for my subtype of breast cancer. So biopsy is number one reason why I'm still alive. And the second reason I'm still alive is research. Because the treatment that I received, which is a targeted treatment, was made possible by dedicated scientists who receive funding from private sources like Komen and government sources like the Department of Defense. And the rest is history. In approximately 10 months, I went into complete remission. There were no signs of my disease on scans. I could not believe what my doctor said to me. And I knew there must have been a reason. So I decided at that point that I wanted to help other patients. And I had two messages. One, be sure you get a good biopsy. And secondly, we need more research. In 2004, as has been stated, I found the Metastatic Breast Cancer Network, a very small group of women who all had metastatic disease, who volunteered together to make a difference. Why did they form their organization? Because quite honestly, when two of its founders went to an early stage breast cancer meeting, support group, they were asked to leave after being there a couple times. And it wasn't that people necessarily were rude, it's just that they didn't understand and know how to relate to people who had a terminal disease. And they also felt uncomfortable that metastatic patients would say, I'm always going to be in treatment. And you know, as an early stage patient, I understand that. I didn't want to hear about metastasis, and I certainly wanted to be done with my treatment. So I was attracted to this group. We decided that we needed a way to get more recognition about how different early stage was from metastatic. And we wanted so much from major organizations like Komen and other organizations to welcome us into the fold so that we could feel part of the breast cancer community. Over the last 12 years with MDCN, we offer a yearly conference for patients. We help to inform the public about our disease, and we ask that patients use their voice and their story to share with others what they're going through. And I'll tell you that's hard, because as has been pointed out, when you say to someone, if you choose to tell them, I have metastatic disease, people think, what didn't you do right? And Pfizer has had, my friends at Pfizer, have had a wonderful initiative called The Story Half Told that pointed out how little is understood about metastatic disease. And many people think, I must have done something wrong. I must not have taken the treatments. I must not have gotten my mammogram. Well, I had several mammograms before I was diagnosed even with early stage disease. So, like all human beings, metastatic people want to know that their lives matter, and they want to be heard, especially by those in the metastatic, in the breast cancer community. So, where are we in 2016? I have a smile on my face. In spite of the fact that we still do lose 40,000 people a year, and that equates to about 110 people dying every day of metastatic breast cancer. We do have subtypes of breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer, that are living longer. That's wonderful news. We also see that more information has been put on websites. Komen has a wonderful website that includes metastatic breast cancer, what about the disease and resources. We also have begun to see metastatic support groups throughout the country. And in October, we have started to be included in walks and activities. I know that is true of the New York City area, Los Angeles, South Dakota, Milwaukee, which is going to have something I'm going to this Friday. So it has been wonderful. And we are very grateful. But in closing, much more needs to be done. Our biggest issue right now is dealing with treatment resistance and the fact that breast cancer, as is true of all cancer, mutates, it's sly, it just changes its face and its look, and it's hard for oncologists to treat the complex disease. So we hope that in the future there will be fewer people diagnosed with the disease. I have every hope and expectation that someday metastatic breast cancer will be a chronic disease where people who are diagnosed can live 20 or 30 years with the disease and die of something else. And so today, the fact that our most valuable asset to all of us is our time, and you have taken the time today to come to this wonderful, beautiful event. And I hope you know that by being here, your resources that you have shared with Komen of New York City will not only go and help women to get mammograms, to deal with issues of prevention, have access to treatment, but a portion of the funds raised today will go towards research that will hopefully help us in the metastatic community. So thank you. I love you all. I really
Thank you, Shirley. Now, it is my pleasure to present this year's Surviving with Impact Award to award-winning television personality, lifestyle guru, best-selling author, accomplished chef, and probably the best title she has, breast cancer survivor, Sandra Lee. Yes. In March of last year, Sandra was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer, and being the confident woman that she is, she didn't waste any time. In May, she underwent a double mastectomy and unfortunately suffered some complications from her surgery that left her hospitalized with an infection in August. But despite that, she has absolutely no regrets. In fact, nothing about this journey could keep her down. Sandra announced her diagnosis and shared it with the nation on Good Morning America. In September, after her infection cleared, you know what she did? She showed up on the red carpet at the Emmy Awards in this gorgeous pink gown with a plunging neckline and said, yes, here I am, I'm confident and I'm back. And that is who Sandra Lee is. She shared her story as much as possible to help women know that breast cancer can happen to anyone, and she also shares it to help save lives. Toward this end, during this year's State of the State address, Governor Andrew Cuomo, a man dear to her heart, talked about Sandra's journey, and it inspired him to propose $90 million to make New York, where we have the most aggressive breast cancer screening operation in this country. Now this initiative, just to give you some idea, would provide longer hours and weekend hours at clinics, a mobile mammography units that can get to women who don't have the resources to get to clinics, and also assurances that insurance companies will pay for those screenings. Tomorrow marks 1 year that Sandra underwent her double mastectomy. Tomorrow, also, she will enter back into the hospital and begin her reconstructive surgery. So please tell her how much we care and how much we wish her well as we continue this journey. It is my pleasure to present the Surviving with Impact Award to Sandra Lee.
I think on Halloween, we should have a really big fundraiser, Ellen. What do you think? We got the masks. Very good. Thank you all, first and foremost, for coming out this afternoon. We all have extremely busy lives that are filled with responsibility and tremendous to-do lists. So we all appreciate you being with us here during this lunch. I am going to be short because on the top of my mind, although I love being here, I am going to go back into the hospital tomorrow. So I feel both relief and complete anxiety and stress. So that will make this extremely brief. But before I share with you a little bit about the last year and then move on, I want to first of all say to Shirley, because I know you, and we've been together many times before. I love you. You're a huge inspiration. Absolutely gorgeous. You don't need to powder, puff, or fluff, which I had the honor of sitting next to you when you did, and it made me completely self-conscious. I went, oh God, powder, puff, and fluff. It is tremendously nerve-wracking to follow you on stage. I now know how Andrew feels following his father. And we all, our hearts and our love is with you every day. So everyone, please, again, let's give Shirley a round of applause. I also want to do something that no one has done yet today because I think it's really important to acknowledge the following people. And these are the people who create the funds that allow us all to enjoy this lunch and create even more funds. And those are the sponsors today. So for the Cure sponsors and the research and the advocates and the platinum sponsors, thank you very much for your funding and for helping us here. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to my family and my friends at Hearst Magazine, Food Network Magazine, HGT Magazine. Ellen, you're an angel, and you always do good work and the right thing. Thank you. Don't cry. Do not cry. I knew John Matt Carter. I met him several times, and he was a lovely, noble man. And so I'm honored to be here with you. Thank you. So, yes, tomorrow, hopefully my journey ends, God willing. Thank you. The hot flashes will not, though, I know that for sure. And I just want to share with you, I had the absolute pleasure of meeting Nancy. I actually am having a hot flash. Meeting Nancy many years ago at the Kennedy Center Honors. And we sat next to each other. Well, actually, she sat in front of me. You had better seats. And she turned around. I didn't know who she was, and she did not know who I was. And she turned around, and in her girl's girl fashion, and she's just a great girlfriend, she started chatting with me. No idea, no agenda, just girls enjoying a fantastic evening of music and people being honored. And that is who she is. And I have to say that if anything had happened to my sister, I would hope that I would do or could do what you have done in her honor, because it is amazing. So thank you very much. And I have been in with the Run Walks, the Race for a Cure, for quite a while. But last year, I was honored to be the Grand Marshal in San Francisco. And I can tell you that when you participate in the Run Walks, you have such a great sense of accomplishment and sisterhood and brotherhood and family and support. There's no reason why anybody should go through any form of cancer alone. And with this organization, you don't have to, which is why I'm here today. And I'm so honored and thrilled to be with you today. So thank you very much for having me and for honoring me. And I'd like to leave you with just one thought, and that is this. It's like being strangled and someone sitting on your chest at the same time. Tell the truth. Anybody who has a hot flash knows this. And it also, right when you're about to cry, you get it. I don't know why. Listen, we are all on this planet at this time together. And I say this often because I think that it's a great reflection on how we should live our lives every single day. In 100 years, 150 years, no one is going to remember who we are unless we have great family and friends and their children who keep our memories alive and our work relevant. Our job is to focus on diseases like cancer that will make this planet a better planet for our children and our children's children, because that is our legacy. That is our responsibility. We all inhabit this earth together at this time, and we will all be gone together. So I think you should look at one another, and throughout your life, your great girlfriends and your great guy friends, even your great guy friends who like to be girlfriends, and enjoy them, and do whatever you can to support them or insulate them and lift them up. You look at the people in your family or your friends who don't have needs and their children, and you grab as many as you can and you lift them up. You open doors, you supply education, you give them travel, and you take care of their health and your health, because it's the only thing that matters. All the money that we go out and make, all the great content that we create, none of it means anything if you don't have your family, your friends, and your health. So when you go through your day, and when you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, you ask yourself, what did you do and who did you do it for today? Take care of yourself and take care of everybody else.
Isn't it? I want to thank the co-chairs, the vice chairs, and the committee for making all of this here possible this afternoon. Thank you for your generosity of your time, your money, your love, your dedication. None of this would be possible without you.